Hello, hello. Welcome to week number 2 of This Week, Next Week. This is the show. This is a show. This is the vlog or podcast, depending, where I tell you what I did this week and what I'm going to do next week. So this is the second one ever. Last week, I recorded one, said I was going to do a bunch of stuff, and I did some of it, but I also didn't do some of it. So we'll go over what I did and didn't do this week and what I plan on doing next week, and consider maybe that I should change the scope a little bit because I didn't get all of this stuff done this week. So first, feedback on the show. A lot of people seem to like it. I put it out on Twitter and YouTube, and a lot of people seem to like it. Some other people are doing it, which is really fun. I think if enough people start doing it, we could have like a little site or a little directory of people doing shows like this, because I find them super interesting. But until somebody demands that, I probably won't be doing that. I did figure out a way to turn it into a podcast. So I have some code that I worked on last weekend that will pull it down from the YouTube, from the YouTube API, but using like YouTube downloader, and then strips out the audio and uploads it to Transistor. So by next week, I got to add that to next week. By next week, I need to have a Transistor audio only feed ready to go. Transistor feed ready to go. Putting that in the next week section. But I have the proof of concept, so I can publish this video on YouTube, and then this little script will get a notification. It'll pull down the video, strip out the audio, take all the description, upload it to Transistor, and create an audio podcast out of it. Because several people said, I would prefer this in audio, which makes sense. So getting close on that. But yeah, I'm liking the format already. I already feel like a little bit like it's keeping me on track and is making me accountable / feel guilty for the things I haven't done. So, hey, that's a pretty good start, I think. Moving on to things I did last week. Remotion. I got a little bit further into remotion. So remotion is handling all of the side stuff. I don't know which side of the video it's on. It's handling all the side stuff on the video, and I changed it to be a little bit more. Let me see if I can boot it up real fast. Okay, there we go. Got it booted up. It's going to be kind of weird because you'll be seeing the overlay and this editor here. But I got it so that it shows the topics that are upcoming, because I watched it back. I watched the old one back, and it only showed the topics that I had already done. And I thought, well, that's not very engaging. That doesn't keep people around. And so I figured out how to make it show the upcoming topics and have a little countdown timer for how long this particular topic is lasting, which I think is pretty cool. And I got Tailwind installed. So now I'm not writing SQL. SQL's always on my mind. Now I'm not writing CSS by hand like it's 2019 or something. Can you imagine? So I had a lot of fun playing with remotion. I think remotion is really, really powerful. I wish there was a Vue version. I think there's an archived Vue motion version. I wish there were a proper Vue version, because I would prefer that. But honestly, I can get by with the React stuff. Remotion is just really, really good. So I had fun with this. I would like to see if I can take this further. I don't know. I don't know what the universe of possibilities with remotion is. But being able to have programmatic control over video is really, really fun. I actually used to, let's see, if we go to YouTube, Aaron D. Francis, I used to make programmatic videos for podcasts. That's what these are. But it's not very interactive. It's just the timer and then the thing down at the bottom, the progress bar down at the bottom. But these videos were all rendered using JavaScript and Canvas, and I rendered them all on Lambda many, many years ago. So this is very near and dear to my heart. So I'm loving remotion. Hopefully I can continue to do cool stuff with it. All right, let's flip over to Obsidian. What else did I do? Yep, the timestamps, all the remotion stuff is driven completely by JSON now, which is very cool. So I can just go in, change the JSON timestamps, and the video will completely re-render to match the timestamps and do all the countdowns and everything automatically. So that's very cool. All right, moving on. I finished that Planet Scale long form video. This is the public Planet Scale page. I'm not going to show you too much behind the scenes, but this is what the public can see, and so I will show it to you. This is it. Functional indexes, 10 quick examples. This is a 36-minute long video. So we will see as time goes on how this does. You'll see the last few videos have done pretty well, 30,000 and 37,000 views. I'm not going to go into too much detail about our strategy because I don't want any bad guys to be listening and figure out how to beat us at our own game. But it's been interesting. We're going to continue to iterate and continue to put out videos. But I did get that one done. That was kind of a pretty big lift considering it's 36 minutes long. Okay, moving on from that, I also did that screencasting webinar, that screencasting.com webinar for Daniel Vassallo's Small Bets community. It was like a hour and a half long webinar to the members of his community. And here we go. Nope, that's not what I wanted. Here we go. And it was great. It was a lot of fun. I ended up spending a lot of my spare time working up some slides for it. And so I didn't get like a personal YouTube video done this week, which is kind of frustrating. And that's one of the things, I'll talk about that. But this webinar went really great. I spent, a few nights working on slides and ended up giving it, I think it was like an hour and a half long. And I think it went really well. It was fun because, Daniel would pop in occasionally with questions from the audience or chat. And so it did have a real lively, like almost live stream format, which I'm partial to. I enjoy that. I think that's a lot of fun. So it went well. And I think I've made a few sales of, the full course on the back end of this. It's nice because Daniel was like, yeah, you can totally, talk about the full course as long as you give value in the webinar. And so I think I did both. So that went really well. Happy I did that. I would like to, I don't know if I can do that again. I don't know what other communities would be interested in that, but now that I have the material, I would love to reuse it. I did not send, I think last week I was talking about, I'm going to send this Screencaster Spotlight email. I did not send that email. I got a little bit wrapped around the axle. So this is a screencasting.com email that I was going to send that is a Screencaster Spotlight, where it's like another screencaster, right? And I was going to send this, and I got a little bit wrapped around the axle generating the email content. And I feel like I'm kind of stuck in this I need to create the system before I can use the system. And if I just had a system, and it's like that doom loop of I just need a system. So I got to break out of that. Mazel is the system I'm using, which is like a way to create emails with Tailwind. It's super great. But I got it set up locally and then didn't actually generate the email to send it. So that will go out next week, now that I have that system set up. And I think that's something I'm realizing about myself is I do need to put in the time to get the tools set up, but I can't spend too much time doing that. So that's a miss for this week, is I didn't send out the email. And then I didn't send out I didn't publish a personal video either. I got a lot of it scripted, but the screencasting.com webinar kind of took over my very limited personal time there. So not a great, not a great start to the old this week, next week thing. But here I am still doing it, and we'll do it again next week. Part of the problem this week is I've been in a lot of physical pain, and just fingers, wrists, shoulders, knees, ankles, just everything hurts. And so that's been a little bit discouraging. It's been that way for a couple of months. but I finally went to the doctor, and so we will see. Went to a rheumatologist, which what is even rheumatology? I don't actually know. But we'll see. But that was kind of like, ooh, that sucks. Like when it hurts to like walk around, that's no fun. Next week. So that was this week. Let's talk about next week. I'm going to send that email. This is not going to be one of those things where I say I'm going to do it every week and then never do it. Next week, I'm going to send the email. Next week, I'm going to publish aaronfrancis.com. I have a full, let's see if I can pull it up here. aaronfrancis.com.test. I have a fully redesigned, redone, those images are gone, fully redesigned and redone personal website that looks really, really good. And I can say that because I didn't design it. Hugo from Tuple designed it. And then, of course, Jason Beggs, built it all out. So I'm going to publish this next week because this is another one of those things where it's like, oh, man, I would do so much more stuff if I just had my personal site done. It's like, hey, dummy, it is done. It is done. You just got to publish it, man. So I'm going to publish that next week. Excuse me. I have another long form planet scale video that's cooking. So we're going to continue to run this long form planet scale experiment. And I am going to publish a personal YouTube video. So I'm adding this to my Obsidian notes. My goal really is to do a video a week. And so I'm trying to ramp up to that video a week on the personal side, which, is tough, but I'm trying to ramp up to that. And then also get the audio feed for this podcast done. So that's kind of a lot. So aaronfrancis.com, send the screencaster email, long form planet scale, personal YouTube, and transistor feed ready to go. So that's my goal for next week. I think that's probably it. Do I have anything else? To say? No, I don't think so. I think that's going to be all. Going to try to keep these as short as possible. And I'm telling you, we're not going to carry these things over. I'm either going to do it or say that I'm not going to do it anymore. So week 2, first follow-up week in the books, and I'm going to get these things done so I don't have to turn on the camera again and tell you that I didn't do them, because how embarrassing is that? All right, I'll talk to you next week. See ya.